welcome to the video lesson this week. Today is very special because I'm going to be introducing you to one of the most beautiful instruments in the string family. It's called the viola. Have you heard of the viola? Do you know somebody that plays the viola perhaps? Maybe you've never heard of the viola until just now, and that's okay. You're going to learn everything you need to know about the viola here in this video. Let's get started. First thing I like to do is show you my instrument. So here you can see my viola. And at first glance, you might be looking at it and thinking, well, geez, that looks a lot like a violin. And if you're thinking that, I can't blame you because this instrument has a lot of similarities to the violin. For example, the viola and the violin are both made of the same material, mostly wood with some metal pieces. Also, both instruments have strings and are therefore part of the string family. You might even notice that the viola is the same shape as the violin. The body shape, the neck, the scroll, the shape and the parts are very similar. The same, really. And on top of it all, you play the viola the same way. You rest it over your shoulder and you use a bow. So for these reasons, I can't blame you if you first thought that it looked the same as a violin. But now, if I hold the two instruments up side by side like this, then you might start seeing that they are not exactly the same. For example, do you notice how the sizes are a little bit different? My violin is a bit smaller than my viola, and that's one of the key differences between these two instruments. The viola is slightly larger than the violin. Also, some of you, if you're particularly observant, may have noticed that the shade of the wood is a little bit different on these two instruments. So, my viola is almost more of an orangish shade, whereas my violin is more of a reddish shade. But the truth is, the color of these instruments is interchangeable. In other words, if you wanted, you could buy a viola that's the same color as my violin. And you could buy a violin that's the same color as my viola. So since the color is interchangeable, I would not say that the color is a key difference between these two instruments, but size is definitely a key difference. And I would also say the sound of the instrument is a key difference. So let me play you a little bit on the viola. Could you hear the difference? It does have a very similar timbre because the sound is made the same way on strings with a bow, but if you're listening very carefully, you can notice that the viola has a deeper and lower sound than the violin. And let me demonstrate for you what I mean. So on the viola, this is what the highest string sounds like. And here's what the highest string sounds like on my violin. I bet you can hear the difference now, right? let me play down to the lowest note on the violin so you can hear what the low range of the violin sounds like. That is the lowest note on the violin, and I'll play the same, but on the viola now. Can you hear how much lower the viola sounds and how that deep note vibrates? Well, let me tell you why the sound of the viola is so much more deep and low compared to the violin. So you may remember in our very first video lesson, I taught you the names of the violin strings, and the high string is called E, A, then D, and G. Now the viola also has 4 strings, but it does not have this high E string. So since it doesn't have a high E string, it doesn't make that same high sound. As a matter of fact, the highest string on the viola is the same note as the second string on the violin. It's an A string. So A is the highest note. It doesn't go, you don't get strings that are higher than that. And then as you go down, A, D, G, and then the lowest one is called C. And the violin does not have the C string, so it can't play that deep, low, resonant note. Understand? Anyways, let me play a few songs for you on the viola so you kind of get a feeling about the characteristics of the instrument. Did you recognize that song? That song is called Ode to Joy, and it's by a very famous composer named Beethoven. You may have heard of him. Anyways, beyond classical music, the viola can play other songs as well. For example, the viola can play festive music like this. Students, did you recognize that song? Of course, it's the birthday song. So all sorts of festive holiday music the viola can play. And actually another style that sounds really cool on the viola is the fiddle style music. A lot of people associate fiddle music with the violin, but fiddle music also sounds pretty awesome on the viola as well. So I'm going to play you a song called Bylum Cabbage Down. The 4th graders are actually working on this song right now. Does that song make you want to dance or what? Another fun piece on the viola is called the can-can. I think you'll really like this one as well. song is really special to me because I learned it when I was in 3rd grade. This song is called The Moon Rock. Well, as you can see, the viola, just like I said earlier, it's a beautiful string instrument. And not only that, it can play a wide variety of songs. So students, I hope some of you that are watching this today are thinking to yourself, that might be an instrument that I could learn someday. And if this instrument interests you, this is one of the options when you take 4th and 5th grade music. So next year, some of you might select to play the viola. And so to give you some advice, a viola is a good instrument for you if you really like the sound of strings and you like the sound of the violin, but perhaps the high notes sound a little bit too squeaky for you. And if your ear doesn't like those higher notes, the beautiful low mellow tone of the viola is perfect. So I highly suggest you think about this as being one of your serious options for next year if you like the string sound and if you like that nice mellow tone. Anyways, something else that is really neat about playing a string instrument is playing together with your family and friends. So I have a special surprise for you. Wait right there and I'll be right back with one of my most special friends to play a duet. See you soon. Hi students, welcome back. As you can see, I brought our special guest in. His name is Mr. Park.
Hi everyone, it's nice to meet you.
You may recognize him because he actually teaches orchestra at Miracosta High School. Well, in addition to being an orchestra teacher at Miracosta High School, he's also my husband. So don't worry, we're not breaking any social distancing rules. We're going to start off with a duet called Farajaka, and I will be playing the viola and Mr. Park will be playing the violin. And now we're going to finish off with one more song called Cripple Creek, which is an American fiddle tune. That's all for now, students. See you next time.